Hey, what's up, Lightbolt Joe here. Today we are going to discuss the 1988 cult classic feature film, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? This is based off the, loosely based off the 1981 book, not of the same name. What's Going On with Roger Rabbit? Something like that. Directed by Robert Zemeckis. So we have Christopher Lloyd as Judge Doom. I forget his name. The other guy's name, who plays Eddie Valiant. I've only seen this movie a couple times, to be honest. There's Roger Rabbit, who's the 2D cartoon bunny. There's Jessica Rabbit, his, smoking hot pin-up wife. There's Dolores. There's a whole slew of characters. So this was made in 88, takes place in 1947. So that means there's a 41-year difference, right? So it's so weird to think this. 40 years later throws us to this decade. So it's just so weird, the time difference between now to when Roger Rabbit came out to from when Roger Rabbit was made to 40 years prior is the same. It's just, time is just so weird. Linear time is so weird on this 3D plane that we live in. So it's very, the 2D plane that we live in. It's very interesting of a film just because it was groundbreaking at that time. It had a beautiful combo of live action meets 2D hand-drawn with special effects, with practical effects. It's so well done. I've seen, there's a prop show about it. There's like a history of it or something. There's just so many different things on this particular film that has withstood the test of time. It did so well in theaters way back in '88 that it sparked the 1991 Toontown, which is a expansion on Disneyland, the northern side of the property in Disneyland. Roger Rabbit having his own ride, Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. This was the first and only time Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse ever appeared together in a feature film in two different scenes. You also have Daffy Duck and Donald Duck appearing together in two different scenes, first and only time in any feature film. Groundbreaking of its time. So Roger Rabbit is framed for the murder of the CEO of Acme. And you have the nice Warner Brothers Hanna-Barbera cartoon mix with the Disney mix of the time. So it's all coming together for this joint Toontown versus real world, film. And so why is Roger framed? How do we exonerate Roger? Who's really the villain? So to have Christopher Lloyd as a Toon the entire time, the Toon who killed Eddie's brother all those years ago. Super cool twist at the end for the reveal. It's just the props and the way that it was filmed. It's just so cool. Benny the Cab, it's just such a great film. Why I wanted to watch this now? I wanted to watch this in 2018, to be completely honest, because my brother and I went to Los Angeles for a brother's weekend trip, and it was the greatest trip, one of the greatest trips I've ever been on, especially with him. And so we went. This is the first time he and I ever went to Disneyland. So when we were there, we knew about Toontown. I studied the map 1,000 times, but just being there in Toontown was incredible. And then he and I went with our family March of 2020, the day before the park shut down because of coronavirus, and having the four of us there, mom, dad, brother, me, it was just such an awesome family moment, being in Toontown, being surrounded, having Benny the car with Roger out front. It's just cool. It's a nice immersive environment. So I wanted to watch it in 2018. I never did. I wanted to watch it in 2020. I never did. Last time I've seen this was probably 15, 20 years ago. And I want to see it. I wanted to see it now because of the Chip and Dale reboot film, or whatever it's called, Chip and Dale to the Rescue Ranger. I don't even know. There's the new Chip and Dale movie on Disney Plus, and that is a present love letter to current animation from different studios. How the hell they got the rights to all these different characters, I will never know. Much like how they got the rights to all of the video game characters back when Wreck-It Ralph and then when Ralph Breaks the Internet comes about. The lawyer fees must be galore. I would love to know the numbers and how things came about. But that's why I wanted to watch Roger Rabbit, to get me into the animation mindset of collab for the Chip and Dale film. I'll see that at some point this week. I'm very excited. So another thing that I really like about Roger Rabbit is it never got a sequel. Like, Roger had 3 short films for himself between, I don't remember what years, but they came out before different 90s films. Never got a sequel. He got 2 video games. He had a very short-lived comic series. He never got a sequel. So it's very interesting how iconic of a character he is when he has his own movie to himself based off of a book, 7 years prior to the film actually coming out. And he just withstands the test of time. He's got his own ride. Everybody still loves him. Like, there's nothing wrong with him. There's certain jokes in the film which obviously do not translate well. Of course, this was made in 88. This came out in 88. Now in 2022, we don't say certain things. We don't depict certain characters certain ways anymore. But on a pop culture standpoint, mwah, chef's kiss. It's got the zhuzh. It's got the this. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? 1988 touchstone feature film, which is really a Disney property, but then it was pushed under the Touchstone banner. Rated PG? That ain't no PG film. That's definitely a PG-13 film. But hey, it was the 80s. There was no rules back then. Tunes did whatever they wanted. And now there's restrictions. It is what it is. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.